Howdy, guys, and welcome to Cliff Notes, and welcome to night number 47 of the overnight feed recaps for Big Brother season 26. A good Tuesday to y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed y'all's long Labor Day weekend. But now it's back to work, and we've got people in the house that are certainly looking a little work to do going forward for the rest of this week. We had the veto ceremony yesterday, and as you recall, Leah controlled the veto. Would she or would she not use it on Angela? I predicted that she would not use it. She proved me wrong. Yes, indeed. Leah used the veto, pulled Angela off the block. She resisted the pressure she got from Quinn and a lot of the house to keep noms the same. Yeah, I've said a lot that I felt like Leah was a bit of a floater in the house, but just mainly wanting to vote with the house. She showed yesterday that she's willing to take a stand for her friends or for what benefits her game, or maybe both, and do what needs to be done. I got a lot of respect for her. She withstood the pressure. She used the veto, pulls Angela off the block. Angela is safe this week, which means Angela should make it to jury, which some people are not going to be happy about. But then after that, the big question, who does Quinn put up in place of Angela? Now, the veto ceremony was held fairly early in the morning, so Quinn didn't have time to bring people in and ask for volunteers, which wouldn't have worked that well. Fortunately, he also did not have time to force everyone to pull Skittles, to have a random draw to see who went on the block if the veto was used. Didn't have time for any of that. So Quinn puts up Joseph. Yeah, he puts up Joseph. I think he was almost obligated. The house was so against Joseph at this point in time that even if he wants to protect Joseph, it would have made it very suspicious if he didn't put him up. I think Quinn kind of had his hand forced at that point in time, puts Joseph on the block, which means come Thursday, either Chemo, Robina, or Joseph will be going home, will be leaving us. There's a lot that's going to take place between then and now. All right, so that's the background. We've got those three now on the block. Now let's talk about the aftermath, the repercussions, what's going to happen, who's voting for who going forward. We're going to talk about it all with the feed, so let's just go ahead and get right into that. All right, on the feed, soon after the veto meeting, we've got Angela incredibly excited, as you would expect her to be, incredibly excited, talking to Leah. I think Robina's there as well, telling Leah what a strong woman Leah is, making those kind of choices, doing what she thinks is necessary. You go, Leah, you go. Yeah, Angela's a little excited. Leah also pretty excited. Leah talking about how she's not going to be influenced by others, that she's going to do what she thinks is right. She's not afraid to go against the crowd, that she has taken risk in her life before. She's been the black sheep before. She's willing to do what it takes when it's needed and all that. So they're kind of cheering each other on at this point. Eventually, they're both crying. Robina is there, basically, girl power. Woo, girl power. Yeah, Robina definitely did not want the noms to change, but she can't say that in front of these two. So instead, she's saying, yeah, it'd be hard not to cheer for you and all of that. But Robina not happy that the nominations occurred, or that the veto occurred and that Angela got pulled off the block. All right, we've got Quinn and Cam and Mackenzie talking to each other. They're discussing how the votes could go now that they know the three people that are going to be on the block come Thursday. They're agreeing that if Chemo or Robina wins the BBAI arena, that they should then vote out the other. So in other words, let's protect Joseph. Let's get out either Robina or Chemo, whoever makes it to Thursday. If both of them make it, if Joseph is safe, then I think there's still some indecision. But they're thinking one of those two needs to go if possible. They're talking about the fact that they only need 4 votes this week to save Joseph if he is still on the block. And they're thinking, okay, we've got the 3 of us, Quinn and Cam and Mackenzie. We've got the 3 of 3 of us. We just need 1 more vote. They're wondering if T-Core would ever vote against Robina or Chemo. Really? That's the person that you're going to rely on for your final vote? There's no way. I just don't see it. But they're wondering if they could ever get her to flip against the other 2 and vote to save Joseph. I don't see it. They are wondering if Leah might save Joseph. Would Leah be the one that could give the vote? I think that's much, much more likely to be the case. MJ is saying that at least Angela will be an easy target next week. Yeah, she's obviously, we wanted her gone this week. It's not going to happen, but whoever wins HOH, they can put Angela up next week. No one's going to be upset with them. She'll just be an easy target. It's just going to be 1 week later. Yeah, she'll be in jury now, but it's still someone we can easily get out later. They're all talking about really just kind of ragging on Angela, talking about how she hasn't done anything. I think it's Quinn who says, yeah, she's going to make it to the final two, and her speech is going to be, I really want to be here. And that's going to be her jury speech. They're talking about how she just has done nothing to really offer to help other people, that she's blown up on everyone who's tried to work with her. Just not feeling the Angela vibes right now, these three. All right, we've got T-Core and Rubina talking a little bit, talking about forming a girls' alliance. We're starting to hear that pop up a little bit more often right now. So they're talking about that a little bit. T-Core, interesting thought here. T-Core is saying that she really thinks that Quinn messed up with the way he handled his HOHs this week. She says, even if he makes final two, and there's no guarantee of that, but even if he makes final two, there's no way he's going to have the votes to actually win Big Brother this season, because she's saying, obviously, you, Rubina, me, it's T-Core, you, Rubina, me, and Chemo aren't going to vote for Quinn in the end, and Angela's not going to vote for him. That's 4 votes right there. If we got a jury of 7 people, Quinn's already lost. Even if he makes it, he's not going to win. You hear a little bitter jury coming into play here? Yeah, I think this season could definitely be a bitter jury type of season. It is interesting as well. My season, we had 9 jurors. 5 votes wins it. You don't have as much control with that many votes. Once you go down to 7 and it only takes 4 votes to award the winner, that 1 vote's pretty big. Yeah, suddenly now you're 25% of a winning vote theoretically. So yeah, it is a big deal, and T-Core may have something there. If it's a bitter jury, Quinn could be in trouble. Of course, it all depends on who he's up against, right? And he's got to get there first. All right, Leah and Joseph are talking a little bit. Leah's saying that she feels bad for Joseph being on the block. That was not her intent. She was just trying to protect Angela. She really didn't spend as much time thinking about who would go up instead, and now she's feeling bad about it. She's saying that she will do whatever she can to protect him going forward, which I assume means a vote as well. She's saying that him going up isn't what she wanted. She would not have expected Quinn to do that. She's saying that this is not, Joseph said, is this something that y'all had planned ahead of time? Was this always the plan? She says, no. She said, Quinn didn't know I was going to use a veto. In fact, he really was pushing me not to use a veto, Joseph. And she says, so no, he didn't know I was going to use a veto, and I didn't know he was going to put you up. So no pre-planning whatsoever. She said, this was just a spur of the moment gut decision. Then later she tells him that, I really was probably thinking about leaning this way the whole time, but really it wasn't until that last minute that I decided to do it. Quinn didn't know. He really thought I wasn't going to use it. So yeah, no pre-planning going on with Joseph. And I think she's right, unless there's conversations that we've missed in the discussions. All right, she's saying that that this isn't something they planned. She had no idea Joseph would go up. She's worried now that Quinn may feel like Leah betrayed him because he didn't think she was going to use it, and it made life a lot tougher for him. So she's worried how Quinn's going to be treating her as a result. Joseph is saying he isn't mad at her. He understands that it was a vote more for Angela rather than a vote against him, the way it went down. He is asking her for her vote if it comes down to it. He's thinking that he has the support of her and Angela. He's hoping that Quinn is going to tell people to save Joseph, that he still has some support from Quinn as well. And then he mentions as well that he hopes that Leah knows that his love of Leah goes well beyond the game. Yeah, I think we kind of picked up on that a little bit, but he's telling her about that as well. He's saying that he knows that if Leah had realized that he was going to go on the block to replace Angela, that she probably would not have used a veto, that she just hadn't thought that part through. And so he understands. He's not mad at her. He's not mad at Quinn. It's just the way things turned out. All right, we've got Leah and Quinn talking now a little bit. Leah's apologizing, and Quinn saying, yeah, I just don't know who to vote out now. I get it, but now I don't know what to do, Leah. He's telling her that in order to save Joseph, they're going to need her vote. Leah, you got to come on board with this. If you truly want to save Joseph, it's going to be up to you. He's saying that if you come on board, that would give us Cam and Chelsea and Mackenzie and Leah. And then, because Quinn can't vote. So he's saying, yeah, Cam and Chelsea and MJ and Leah could be 4 votes to save Joseph. Now, is Chelsea going to vote to save Joseph? I thought he was the person that she trusted the least in this house. Maybe she'll get roped in as part of this group of 5 alliance and talked into it. I just don't know that I would be counting on that vote right now. But Quinn is saying, we've got her vote as well. We need your vote, Leah, at this point in time. Now, here's the thing. If Leah casts that vote and brings in Angela as well, maybe they don't need Chelsea's vote. But if they don't have Chelsea's vote, if Chelsea votes a different direction, you could break up some of these newly forming groups before they even get a chance to really get started. All right, Leah's telling Quinn that she wants Chemo to go home. That is who she doesn't want Joseph to go home. She's friends with Ravina, but she would be okay with Chemo going home. Quinn at one point says, so if Angela goes on the block again next week and you win veto, are you going to pull her off again? Is that just going to be an ongoing deal that we have to worry about? And she said, no, one-time deal only. I'm not going to protect Angela again. From this point on, I'm going to be protecting the 5. And this is that new alliance of her and Quinn and Chelsea and Cam and MJ. She said, I'm going to protect them going forward. This was just for Angela this time, but it won't be going on from this point on. She's telling Quinn that Chemo, again, wanting Chemo out the door over the other people. And she's telling Quinn, saying, hey, Chemo would definitely have put you on the block if he had won HOH this week. You just got rid of his bestie and Tucker. Of course he would have put you on the block, Quinn. She's probably right. All right, we've got a Labor Day party. The feed shut down for a couple of hours. They had a Labor Day party in the backyard. They already had the grill. They got food brought in, alcohol. Not sure how much alcohol, but maybe more so than is normal. Music probably playing with the feeds down. So everyone just getting a chance to relax, hang out a little bit. The 2 have-nots, Chemo and Mackenzie, were given an exemption during the Labor Day party where they could eat. Boy, I would be loaded up. I'd be like Joey Chestnut putting down those hot dogs if I got a few hours away from have-nots for a little while. But yeah, they got a chance to enjoy the time as well. Now, it's they had a big party. I'm sure they had a lot of fun. Labor Day party for me during my season wasn't as big a deal because we started earlier. We finished our season September 26th. So by this point in our season, I think there were only 5 of us left. So there just weren't as many people. I know we grilled and things like that, but with so few people and a lot more stress at that point in time, a lot going on that week or two. Because of that, we just didn't get the chance to enjoy this party the way they did. But hey, it is what it is. We got a 4th of July party that they didn't get instead. All right, we've got, again, that seems like they had fun, but we didn't get any of that on the feeds itself. All right, we've got Leah and Chelsea talking. They're both happy that Joseph is on the block. There's more talk about a girls' alliance. Could they make it work and all that? Mackenzie is saying that she thinks that if Chemo stays this week, and then he won HOH next week, the girls could probably convince him to put up all guys, which translates to Joseph if he's here. If not, certainly it means Quinn and then Joseph or Cam, depending on who's still in the house. But thinking they could get Chemo to put up the guys, continue to work down the numbers on the other side. And she's saying that even if we did get one of the girls on the block, at least if we could get Quinn on the block, if one of the other girls is on the block, we ladies would now have enough votes that we could protect that person and make sure that all the ladies stay in the house until we get to the end. So they're certainly talking about that, protecting each other with votes and making sure that everyone's watching out for each other. They are hoping that come next week with the HOH competition, that one of them, Leah or Chelsea, or even Cam, they talk about the guys, but they still see Cam as a strong supporter. Interesting little relationship with Cam and MJ and Chelsea. We'll talk about that in a second, but they're hoping that either one of them or Cam wins the HOH. And they mentioned Leah, saying, yeah, Leah would be good to win too. I don't think Leah would come after her. So yeah, one of those 4 needs to win. In other words, we don't want T-Core to win. We don't want Ravina to win. We don't want Angela to win. They could all be a little dangerous, but the rest of them, they're feeling pretty good. Now, let me say this as well. This girls' alliance is all the girls in the house except for Angela. So they're not counting Angela, and they're including Chemo in there in the group as well, even though obviously not one of the girls, but they're feeling like he's certainly an ally for them. All right, we've got Joseph and Cam talking. Cam is saying that he talked to Chelsea and the rest of the group, and they don't want Joseph to go home. He's trying to let Joseph know that I think you're good. I think you got the votes. No one's wanting you to go from this side, Joseph. Joseph is saying that he trusts Cam and Leah and Chelsea. Should he trust Chelsea? Yeah, I don't know, but trust anyone you can at this point in time to try to get the votes. He's saying he trusts Cam and Leah and Chelsea. He's saying that he's not mad at Quinn, that he understands that he voted the wrong way last week and that Quinn's hand was kind of forced. So it is what it is. He was just on the wrong side of last week's vote. He says he's not mad at Leah either. So he's letting Cam know that he's cool with everyone on that side of the house. He just wants to work with them. He just wants to survive. All right, Joseph is talking in the backyard alone, talking about how much going on the block is going to suck. He's saying that he just got screwed over by two people they trust. Now, he's talking to the cameras alone, so I tend to believe what he says with these talks more so than when he's talking to someone else. So there's times or two where he said, yeah, I kind of expected that Quinn was going to do this, and it wasn't a complete shock and all that. I think he was blindsided. I don't think he was expecting Quinn to do it. I don't think this was a pre-plan between the two of them, anything like that. He's suddenly realizing that his game is very much in jeopardy, and he was not counting on that. All right, let's see. What else? We got s'mores that were delivered after the Labor Day party. They brought them in a big bucket and looked pretty good to me, but they decided not to enjoy them just yet. They're going to wait till Mackenzie and Chemo are through being have-nots, so then everyone can have s'mores. And something to look forward to. We'll see if those Hershey bars last until they get to that point. All right, we've got Quinn and Joseph talking a little bit. They're talking about who they want to get rid of. Quinn's still on board, at least when he talks to Joseph, holding on to Joseph, doesn't want Joseph going anywhere. So then who do we vote out instead? Well, they're talking about Rubina maybe being the better player than Chemo, that Rubina is trying to work and campaign with people in his house, while Chemo's just isolating himself and not really doing much to promote his cause. So they're basically saying, does that mean, we maybe talked about sending Chemo out, but is that the best option? Is maybe Rubina a better option going forward? So they're still trying to figure that out. Joseph is talking about how much Leah's decision just kind of hurt him. He wasn't expecting that, and it just caught him off guard, and it's hurt him a little bit. Remember, he loves her beyond the game itself. Cam comes in and starts talking to him a little bit. He's saying, look, when it comes down to it, he's already said that they want to keep Joseph. He's saying, they asked him, they said, Cam, how do you think the house is thinking about Rubina versus Chemo? And he says, well, the house might want Chemo gone ahead of Rubina. He said, that's kind of what I'm feeling right now, but we still got Tuesday and Wednesday, so we've got a few days, but right now, maybe Chemo would be the more popular choice over Rubina itself. Eventually, Joseph leaves, and then you have Cam and Quinn talking a little bit more of an alliance, another alliance, or I guess an addition to their, I don't know. Yeah, another alliance. Talking about Quinn and Cam and Chelsea and Mackenzie and Leah and T-Core. So I guess this is basically the same alliance, but adding in T-Core. Quinn is just oblivious to how upset T-Core is with him and what he did this week. He's still thinking that he can pull T-Core in and make her part of this group, that they can pull her in, that they can get her to drop Chemo and Rubina and be part of this group, be a group of six. Just don't see it happening, Quinn. All right, we've got Joseph and Chelsea talking. Chelsea is saying that she's going to have conversations. Joseph kind of campaigning to her, and she's saying, look, I'm going to have conversations. I'm going to see where the house is going, which way they're leaning, what's going on. She's saying that she has nothing for or against Joseph right now. In other words, I'm not leaning either way. I just want to check out the house. Now, that seems like kind of a blow off to me. I think it sure doesn't sound like Chelsea's planning to vote to save Joseph. Maybe she gets talked into it by Quinn and Cam and others a little bit later. But for right now, if I'm Joseph, I'm not counting on Chelsea's vote to save me at this point in time. All right, we've got Joseph and T-Core talking. Joseph is saying that he knows T-Core is close to Rubina and Chemo. He's just kind of wanting to know where her head is at. And I'm not asking you for your vote or anything. I know you're tight with him. Just kind of want to know what you're thinking. And T-Core is saying, look, Chemo and Rubina and you, Joseph, y'all are all people I trust. Y'all are all people I want to go far in this game. So she said, I'm just a little, I don't remember the word, disappointed, a little, not wanting this particular outcome to be in place this week. She wants all of them to stay in the house and realize that's not going to happen. Joseph does tell T-Core, says, I know that you're tight with them, but if you ever found the reason to give me a vote, I would never put you on the block. I would never do anything to jeopardize your game going forward. I would watch out for you. I could certainly be a vote, a supporter for you going forward if you would consider possibly throwing me your vote. All right, we've got Joseph and Angela talking a little bit. Joseph is asking for her vote, and Angela, and he talked a little bit. He said, I understand the irony that I was telling you all is that you got to fight for BBA Arena and you're in trouble and all. He said, I understand the irony that now I have to take my own advice, and it is what it is. But he's asking Angela for her vote. And Angela thought it was a pretty good question. She said, look, where do you stand with Quinn right now? What's y'all's relationship based on everything that's happened? And she's reminding Joseph that he had told her during their conversation, if anyone ever put him up, even as a pawn, if anyone ever put him up as a pawn or as a nominee of any sort, he'd come after him. And he's not going to put up with that. He would be coming after anyone who put his name on the block. So she's saying, based on that, what's your relationship with Quinn right now? And Joseph is saying, to be honest with you, I don't really feel super good with Quinn right now. Not really what I was expecting, not feeling real happy about it. He says, but I know that Quinn tried to get Leah not to use the veto to protect me. So I'm okay with that. But the fact he then put me up, I'm not real happy with Quinn right now. And he goes on and on saying, please don't tell anyone else. Please don't let him know that I'm upset with Quinn and all that. I think this is a bit of a play on Joseph's part. I think this is a way of him to continue to try to distance himself a little bit from Quinn, especially knowing that Angela really wants Quinn gone. Well, of course, you're not going to say that you're tight with Quinn. You're going to say, I'm not really cool with him at this point in time, to try to get her vote. So Joseph doing a little campaigning there. All right, we've got Mackenzie and Cam and Chelsea and Leah and Rubina and T-Core all in the bathroom. Just random talk, nothing game-wise whatsoever with that bigger group in there. The only reason I even mentioned this conversation is because MJ was laying with her head, not in Cam's lap, more on his thigh, but certainly a little contact with Cam, laying down next to Cam, and he's rubbing her head, her shoulders, her back, just being friendly with Mackenzie. Chelsea definitely noticing. Now, we've seen Chelsea getting a little closer to Cam here recently. Suddenly now, Cam sharing the wealth, so to speak, feeling a little flirtatious, it looks like, with Mackenzie. And Chelsea is noticing this as well. All right, we've got Quinn and Joseph and Leah all talking. Quinn is talking about no one knowing how close they are. Is this all just a big setup with these three? If so, bravo to all three of them for pulling off this ruse. But I don't think it's that simple. I truly don't. I think they're making the best of everything. Quinn is talking about no one knowing how close they are, that he thinks that they can keep Joseph from going home this week. They should be able to make it happen. Leah is agreeing that that's the case. Joseph is telling the other two that he's now emphasizing to everyone that after everything that happened, he's now alone. He doesn't have Quinn. He doesn't have Leah. He doesn't have anyone in this game at this point in time. So that's the strategy he's trying to play. I just don't know that Joseph truly believes that Quinn and Leah truly have his back, and I'm not sure I believe it either. But they're telling him they do, and that they've got the votes. All right, we've got Rubina and T-Core talking about Cam and Mackenzie getting close to one another. Yeah, Chelsea's not the only one who noticed. They're wondering, I think T-Core says, now I'm not saying that Cam is definitely in the wrong to be doing that, knowing how Chelsea feels, but he says, does Mackenzie not realize that Chelsea likes Cam? Surely she knows that, right? So they're questioning a little bit why that was taking place in the bathroom. All right, we've got Rubina and Cam talking a little bit. They're agreeing. They start off by saying, look, we've just never worked together that much. We've never talked that much game. Maybe we need to change that. So they have a nice discussion. Eventually at the end, they say they're going to try to work together with each other going forward. It's the first step in that. They're agreeing that neither one would nominate the other one if either one of them gets HOH. So trying, again, as was mentioned before, Rubina's out there trying to campaign as best as she can. Chemo, not so much. But yeah, Rubina and Cam theoretically having a little bit of a working relationship here. All right, we've got Joseph alone in the backyard again, sitting back there. We had the people on the block kind of hanging out on their own a little bit last night. Chemo a lot, Joseph a bit. Rubina making the rounds as best she can, but Joseph alone in the backyard saying he's going to fight to get the votes. He's not quitting at all, but he is thinking this very well could be it for him. So the conversation with Leah and Quinn, don't think he's buying it at all. He thinks this could be it for him. He's talking about how incredibly grateful he is for the experience. Now, he didn't realize that Rubina was sitting under a blanket just not too far away from him while he's having this talk. He didn't really say anything sensitive, so it was okay, but you always got to be careful in that house who may be listening. Yeah, trust me. I know a thing or two about that. But yeah, he's saying he's happy he's gotten a chance. One of 16 people that got picked to play, but not feeling great about his longevity in this house right now. All right, we finally have Cam coming out right after that saying, is everyone going to bed? What's going on? I think I'm going to bed. Chelsea's on the hammock. She immediately says, I guess that's my cue. She hops up, follows Cam. We did not have the feeds following as well, so who knows? Did Chelsea try to make up for some of the Mackenzie Cam flirting that was going on? She hollering. Well, we really don't know, but Chelsea certainly popped up when Cam said he was going to bed. We'll see what results from that today. All right, we've got Leah and Joseph talking a little bit more. Leah's apologizing again for going against Quinn and Joseph in making that decision. Joseph is saying, no, look, I know it's not because you're against me. It's just Angela and all. I get it. It's fine. Joseph is saying, though, that he is really scared, that he's really nervous about the way things are going to go this week. And Leah saying, well, I think you're good, but I understand why you're scared. She said, I just don't understand why Quinn put you up. I wasn't expecting that. I just don't get it. And Joseph saying that he's just not sure what to feel about Quinn right now. And Leah saying that Angela owes her, that they'll both be votes this week. She tells Quinn later, Angela will vote for however I want to vote. And so she's telling Joseph, say, Angela owes me. We've got your back. You've got our support. So you should be good to go. Joseph is complaining about Quinn, saying, look, first of all, the fact that he was willing to consider a Skittles draw and put me on the block as just a random whatever bothers me. He says, and then if it comes down to it, if you're not doing that, I think he said something about put your big boy pants on and just pick someone that's closer to T-Core or closer to Rubina. Don't pick me. He said he's basically calling out Quinn to Leah, saying he's a little bit scared. Quinn was a little bit scared, and that's why he went with the house instead of going for who would have been a better target. So, yeah, I just don't think Joseph actually is very happy with Quinn. He's downplaying it when he talks to Quinn, but not happy with Quinn. All right, we got T-Core, Chemo, and Angela talking. Angela talking about her husband, and she misses him, and that she needs some attention. Eventually, she starts crying about it a little bit. So, yeah, just you've been in here a month and a half, but yeah, Angela feeling a little alone right now. All right, we got T-Core and Rubina and Chemo talking. Chemo is saying that Leah said, after Tucker left, I'm starting to get a little bit better feel for the house, I think. And he's talking about Leah, and he said, Leah said she isn't coming for us. That if she was to get HOH, she's aiming for the other guys in the house. So I think we're good with Leah if we can just survive this week. T-Core is saying that she likes Mackenzie, but that she also considers Mackenzie a very dangerous player. She's conflicted about working with her. Should we work with her? Should we use her? Should we cut her loose? Just not really sure how to handle Mackenzie at this point in time. T-Core is telling Chemo and Rubina that their odds of staying over Joseph seem to be pretty high, that she thinks that they should be able to get the votes to send Joseph out, protect the two of them at this point in time. They're talking about trying to pull in some additional people into this group of three. What could they do to help their numbers? And T-Core saying maybe the easiest people to pull in right now would be Mackenzie and Angela. They could pull them in perhaps and do some work. So again, they're not sure they trust Mackenzie because she's so dangerous, but they do like her and maybe be willing to work with her. And then Angela, she's like the last person in the schoolyard pick, right? No one really wants her, but she is kind of a number that may help you if you just absolutely have to have someone. All right, she's saying that she respects Leah more because of the veto move, even though Rubina certainly didn't want the veto to be used. I don't think any of them wanted the veto to be used. T-Core saying, I do have a certain level of respect for Leah for doing what she thought was best for her game. I agree with T-Core on that. And then finally, we got Leah and Quinn up in the HOH room. Leah is saying that she thinks that Joseph probably does have the numbers to stay. And she's saying that her plan was to vote to save Joseph. But Quinn says, well, what are you going to do? And she says, well, I'm going to vote however you want. I'll vote whichever way you say go. She said, Angela will vote the same way as me. I can convince Angela to do whatever. And my plan was to vote to save Joseph. But if you tell me differently, then, that's fine too. Just let me know. She is saying that she does still want to work with Joseph. She doesn't want to get rid of him necessarily. And Quinn says, yeah, no, he's still a number 4, so we could still work with him. So she's willing to vote to save him if Quinn is okay with that. We'll see how it works out over the next couple of days. Finally, lights out at 3:45 or so, Big Brother time. They kind of got away from T-Court and Rubina. I'm not sure if they were still up or not, but everyone else in bed, 3:45 or so. And so I decided that was a good spot to call it a night. So there you have it, guys. Again, Angela's off, Joseph's on. It seems like there's a group that wants Joseph out, and then there's another group that is wanting either Rubina or Chemo out. We'll see which one wins out in the end. It's close. Right now, it's within a vote either way. So we'll have to monitor over the next couple of days. Guys, y'all enjoy your Tuesday. I'll be back tomorrow morning to give you a recap. We'll see what's going on. The house guests are losing their yard this morning. So everyone's going to be locked inside, which is just going to ramp up the paranoia and the stress and everything else. A little harder to have conversations as well without the outdoors being available. We'll see how that affects conversations. But until then, guys, y'all have a great Tuesday. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow morning. SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Bye.